Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Girl Gone Crypto. I am especially excited for today's guest. He is known as TheyCallMeDan here in the crypto verse, and I've definitely been following him for a long time on Steam, and we've interacted quite a bit. So I'm super excited to have you on the show, Dan. So thanks so much for coming on.
All right, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So, you are involved in all sorts of things here in the crypto world. So, you have a really popular crypto YouTube channel, and you're also very heavily involved in the Steam blockchain as well as EOS ecosystems. And more recently, you've even founded a video sharing platform called 3Speak, which helps to promote free speech and really address some of these, issues we've been seeing on social media of censorship. And so, I'm excited to talk about all of those things. But first of all, maybe just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in crypto.
Sure. I'm a professional poker player, going on 10 years now. I got into crypto because of poker. So I wanted to get Bitcoin onto a poker website. Downloaded the wallet, had a friend send it. I didn't really think of how powerful it was at the time. But then when it clicked, I went down the rabbit hole, and I have an obsessive personality. So I literally spent the next month just digging, reading, finding everything I possibly could, listening to all the old Bitcoin talks, everything now and then. I stumbled across projects like Steam and EOS very early on. Those were some of my earliest projects I got into. And I really just saw the mission. I saw that, cryptocurrency is a way to eliminate a middleman, and not just a middleman, a middleman of money, which is
Mm-hmm.
really, really big. And I was too young for the internet boom because,
Right.
but now I see that this is sort of the same thing, and I'm at a good age to where I could capitalize on it. So I'm really just trying to go 100%.
So there's obviously a lot of different blockchain protocols and blockchain communities out there. And you mentioned Steam, and that's kind of how we met a few years ago. What is it about Steam that attracts you to that blockchain, and why have you decided to spend so much of your time and energy on helping to grow and develop that community?
Yeah, Steam. So when you have Bitcoin helping with the middleman of money, Steam is the middleman of social media. And I really started seeing the heat with, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the ways they're acting. And it's becoming more of a ad first platform and user
Mm-hmm.
last. So when I got onto Steam, that's what I saw immediately. And when YouTube started really aggressively attacking people, banning them off the platform, I really felt the need to do something about it. And that's when I built 3Speak, the application powered by Steam. And I went all in on Steam because I think Steam is the best blockchain to empower social apps.
And so, what is it about Steam that makes it different in terms of being a good blockchain to build apps on? Why is Steam a better alternative to others?
The first thing is it's feeless. So on Ethereum, people don't want to have to pay to like something.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 second block times. So really the tech behind it, it's really fast,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also very nice because it's what you call an application specific blockchain. So it's really made to store text-based data and build websites on top of, where Ethereum, EOS, all these other blockchains, they're general specific. So you really have to go in there and build out the entire application, as where Steam, it's really just plug and play.
So you were just talking a little bit about, kind of seeing the writing on the wall with a lot of these traditional centralized social media applications like YouTube, and that's kind of what led you to get involved in Steam. But I want to talk a little bit more specifically about 3Speak, which is the platform that you've developed. So what all, like, for someone that shares video content, like, how can they get involved? What kind of features do you guys currently have available? What does the roadmap look like? Just kind of walk us through using 3Speak for someone that'd be interested in engaging with it.
Sure. If you're already on Steam, signing up to 3Speak's really easy. You just log in with your Steam account and you're good to go. You can start uploading and interacting right away. If you're new to Steam and you're not a content creator, you can sign in through Facebook, Google, the legacy social media systems, and you can interact, even earn some upvotes from Steam through the proof of brain system. That's the upvotes for crypto. Um, the roadmap for 3Speak is really taking the creator and turning the creator into his or her own social media platform where they can monetize it, own it. So that means they can never be banned, never be told what to do. And then we want to allow them to tokenize their communities to where they can tokenize the attention and really capitalize on the Web 3.0 attention economy that we're all starting to see develop so quickly. Because when you make a community on Facebook, you're making Facebook richer. And when they're done with you, they can
Mm-hmm.
kick you off at any time. When you make a community on Steam, which is 3Speak, the same thing, that community is yours. So I'm really thinking it's like the foundation moving forward of how social is going to act. And that's what 3Speak is sitting right in the middle of.
So I want to hear your thoughts on something because I feel like something I've been seeing a lot kind of in the decentralized social media world is actually fully decentralized platforms versus just alternative platforms. Because a lot of these other, I mean, Steam was obviously kind of the pioneer in this space, but there's been lots of other platforms built are that are maybe an alternative, but when you look under the hood, they're not actually decentralized. They're just incorporating certain aspects of blockchain technology, perhaps just with like tokenization and earning that native token or tipping in Bitcoin. But they claim that they need these centralized components in order to have a good user experience. So just kind of in general, what's your thoughts on a fully decentralized system, if you can have a good user experience with that, versus some of these platforms that are using centralization in their game plan?
Sure. I would say decentralization comes in different factors. So you're going to have you can, like with Steam, you have the decentralization of account creation, your social network, the friends, the posts, and all of that. With a video storage site, it becomes tricky to decentralize the storage. Now, with a video storage site, to decentralize it, even on something like IPFS,
Mm-hmm.
the holder of the IPFS node has control of that. If they stop running that node, then you lose all your videos. So in order to actually have a decentralized video platform that scales, you need to incentivize the community to run their own nodes, download their own content, and seed it. Now, I'm a fan of merging the two worlds. I think where people get it wrong is they want to go 100% decentralization or 100% centralization. What I view 3Speak as, you can have a centralized front end with a decentralized back end. And what
Mm.
that means is if 3Speak ever goes down, you could pop up a 4Speak in a few clicks, have all of the videos, have your account, all of your friends, your whole social platform. That's what I call censorship resistant. So now you're not
Mm.
reliant on 3Speak. If we go down, everything is still there. However, with 3Speak, we can offer a Web 3.0 experience that is the likes of YouTube, where it's going to be HD, load fast, the videos last forever. So I think if you mix the best of both worlds, and the goal isn't decentralization, the goal is
Mm.
censorship resistant, in my opinion.
Mm.
So that is where we're going for with 3Speak.
No, I love that distinction, right? Like, what is the end goal? Is it decentralization, or truly, like you said, is it to be able to avoid these censorship shadow banning issues that we've been seeing on centralized sites like YouTube and Facebook? And I think that's a really big conversation that's happening in this world of alternative social media right now. So it's super interesting just to hear your thoughts and how you guys are approaching that with 3Speak, with, you know, kind of balancing that user experience, but then also making sure that ownership of data and content is also there and really important. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to just like shift gears slightly and talk a little bit about EOS, because similarly, you know, how we were just discussing, like, what is it about Steam that attracts you to Steam? Like, what is it about EOS that also attracts you to that blockchain? Because that's another kind of ecosystem and community that you've gotten involved in.
So if you see my projects that I invest in, there's a thread with Steam and EOS. They're both delegated proof of stake. I'm a really big fan of delegated proof of stake. I think it's going to be the premier governance system moving forward. Proof of work and regular proof of stake eliminate the human element. And while decentralization is great, we still live in a world full of humans, and you need people to be able to give opinions and vote. You see, with Bitcoin, it caused a chain split over a block size issue. There's no consensus. When there's no consensus, it's the Wild West. With proof of stake, it's the same thing. How do you come together to make a change in the protocol? I believe delegated proof of stake is going to be refined. You see people like Dan Larimer constantly tweaking and coming up with innovative ideas when it comes to delegated proof of stake and how to evolve the governance. Um, that's what drove me to EOS at first. I have a lot of respect for Dan Larimer. I thought that EOS was going to be what Ethereum was trying to be,
Mm.
as sort of a world computer. Some issues did happen with EOS though. The congestion issues, the governance issue. That's one thing with Steam blockchain that I really like is the inflation-based upvotes. If you notice, the witnesses on Steam, you know them. They work hard.
Mm-hmm.
With EOS, you had the issue with sock puppet accounts. So that
Mm.
would be somebody who created another account, and they're both in the top 20. So they're both validator nodes.
Oh.
And I think that's because the only people getting the inflation right now are the witnesses. So it's sort of the rich get richer. And in Steam, if the witnesses want to get more stake, they have to buy it back from the users. So it empowers the user. So EOS, I was really bullish on. Full disclosure, obviously, I'm a big Steam holder, but EOS is my largest holding. I still believe in EOS. I think EOS is going to do great. However, there are some issues that it has to solve. I think with inter-blockchain communication, we're going to see that with voice coming out. You're going to start to see it reaches tentacles into other blockchains, and then it can really start to be the general blockchain that it wants to be instead of the congestion, the governance issues. There's a lot of things going on with EOS, but I have high hopes with it. I definitely do. I know the block producer. I know some of the block producers that are there. I know they're working really hard. They're innovating. They obviously have a large war chest with the ICO raise.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good stuff going on with EOS, but they definitely have some issues that are raising red flags for me right now.
So, aside from Steam and EOS, are there any other projects or blockchains that you are really bullish on and excited about right now?
Yeah, I have a few niche projects that I like. There's one, SoMe.social. These aren't their own blockchains. When it comes to blockchains, I'm really only bullish on EOS and Steam. I think Ethereum, Bitcoin, I think they're going to do great. I just feel more comfortable with delegated proof of stake blockchains. If we're talking about applications, not financial advice, obviously. SoMe.socials, I thought was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
There's one called No Limit Fantasy Sports, No Limit Coin. These are really micro cap coins that have good business plans. They're legal. They're doing all the right things and really moving into the Web 3.0. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of little projects that are out there that I believe are gems that can really take off when the right season hits.
Yeah, I started using SoMe maybe only about a month ago, and it's been really fun to kind of engage with that community a little bit more. So, for those of you watching this, I would definitely recommend checking out that platform as well. They're doing a good job over there. So, one thing that I think would just be kind of fun to talk about. So, yesterday I just threw something out on Steam, being like, "Hey, I'm interviewing TheyCallMeDan. Who has questions?" And we got definitely some more like kind of in the weeds specific Steam questions. And so I thought just kind of to wrap up the interview, we could just go through a few of those and just kind of chat a little bit more Steam, which is pretty fun for me because usually I don't have people on that I can really get into the weeds on Steam stuff with. So I'm pretty excited. So the first question.
Sure, I could talk Steam all day. So
Yeah, you and me both, right? So I thought this was an interesting question for you specifically. The user at CTRPCH asked, what is the difference between DTube and 3Speak? And they're just kind of wondering, like, which one should I be using for sharing my video content on Steam? So just kind of general thoughts on using DTube versus 3Speak.
I would say DTube is run on IPFS. They're going, I would say, a more stricter decentralized route. The difference between 3Speak is, I believe, unless DTube has changed anything recently, is high definition. 3Speak has high definition video. The videos last forever. We have communities integrated, and I would say that's about it. So really, performance is the biggest difference, I would say.
The videos lasting forever that's a huge point right there. I went through kind of like a a phase a year or two ago where I was like, all DTube exclusive stuff. And yeah, I can't play those videos anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, love YouTube too. But yeah, I'm excited. Actually, this interview is going to be the first video that I post on 3Speak. So I'm really excited about that. I've been meaning to check it out. I've used DTube for so long that I was like, oh, I should check it out. I'm like, I can't think of a better video to make my first one than, an interview with you. So,
Yeah, perfect. Nice.
okay, let's see. We got a few more questions. So this is more of like, I think, like kind of a social inner workings on Steam. So Denmark guy, who's someone who's been on the platform for a long time as well, was curious to hear your thoughts on applications like Apix, where it's more of that short Instagram kind of quick post. As we both will remember, right? Like, it used to be that Steam was very much like only like long form content. There wasn't really a whole lot of that kind of quick short form content, and things have kind of changed and evolved. So just in general, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, seeing, like, should Steam be considered more of like a blogging kind of like longer form platform, or do you think that having kind of this mix of all different types of content is positive for Steam?
Yeah, I think it's very positive. I think Apex are doing really great things. It's a stake-based system, so you can vote how you want. And with SMTs and communities, I see them forming their own sort of for short filter content, and you'll have an SMT for that. But I think Apex is great. Instagram on Steam is a big thing.
No, that's a great point about the filter, because I could see how that could be really useful for people to be able to kind of filter their own experience for what type of content they want to consume. So that would be really cool to see that kind of coming down the pipe. All right, we have a question about gold from our friend Gold Matters. So he said he's heard you mention gold a few times. Do you own gold? In what form? ETFs, physical, gold stocks, etc.
I own physical and paper.
Nice. And then just kind of like a last closing thought and question is just like, what are your general thoughts on the future of Steam and where we're going? Like, how do you see Steam kind of evolving, let's say, over the next year or so?
Over the next year, I see Steam with SMTs and communities. You're going to start seeing more websites start to tokenize. As we start to approach 2, 3, 4 years, I really start seeing Steam being sectioned out. So you might go to a site and you might have a Steam comment section only, because they want the interaction, they want the tokenization, they want the proof of brain on their comment section. Or you might go and you might just see a website with no rewards, but they want the immutability and be able to say, hey, this is a censorship resistant website. So I really see Steam being fractioned out and used on a need to use basis.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on and chat with us. And like I said, it's just been so fun to actually get to talk Steam with someone, kind of in more of this detail and level. And so if people want to find you online, where's the best place for them to go?
You can go to steemit.com/@TheyCallMeDan. It's the best place to find me.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Dan.